To own your own railcar has been the dream of many. However, it takes a lot of time and commitment and a lot of money to keep one of these old girls in tip-top shape and rolling down the main line. Follow along with me as I get my car ready for shipment and see where it ultimately leads when I get it home and start rebuilding.
So, I have acquired a thing. It's a 1952 U.S. Army hospital car, just like the one I'm restoring. It was used by Conrail originally as part of their business train, kind of a baggage slash overflow berthing slash storage. Norfolk Southern put a generator in it and used it as a power car for the geometry train until about 2013 when they got a different car. The window configuration is still the same as original, except for when they put the generator in, they put one of the vents in the window there. And they added a 500-gallon fuel tank. The original generators went in those boxes there. Somebody took the water fill valve, so I'm gonna have to clean that up. I've already done the COT&S, which is clean oil test and stencil. Put rebuilt valves on the car and run through the brake test. Everything works fine. Put new cups in the wheel cylinders. It still has the original air conditioning compressor. I doubt that works. Has nice, very thick wheels on it. And it already has rotating end cap roller bearings, which is super nice. It's still got the baggage doors on both sides, but where the windows were has been converted to vents. It still has the door for the kitchen. It still has the kitchen. We'll go inside in a minute. It still has the steam thing. So no diaphragm on this end, although it looks like it had one. It got ripped off or something. So I'll have to fix that. I like the diagram for unhooking all the cables for conductors that aren't paying attention. So my plan is to get it home, cleaned up, get the generator running. I'm gonna try to start the generator here in a little bit. And put her into service powering the South Carolina Railroad Museum's trains. At least for now. So we'll go around the other side. And this end has the diaphragms, and they added marker lights. And that's the HEP connection. And the same thing, here's where to unhook this end. So this side must have been more exposed to the weather because it is much grittier. And I don't know if it was surface prep is why the paint started peeling, but the roof's in great shape. So I may just blast and paint the sides. And I'm not sure what to paint it yet. I've been suggested to paint it Strata Blue, but it was an Army hospital car. If I can find the original number and all the data, see where it served, and because it served for the Air Force, that did happen. A lot of hospital cars wound up with the Strategic Air Command. So I'll just need to research it. I'd like to pay homage to the car's origins. Some of the valves I had to replace. This is the other generator box. I had to fix the hinge on that as well. You can really see the thick wheels on this side. And then just one single door, which that was the receiving room where they would receive the wounded on board and the nurses would evaluate them, change bandages, and then assign them a bunk or seat. And then that's a window over the sink for the kitchen. So they did, I don't know if Conrail or NS did, but they moved the cutout cock for the brake line up here. Nice and easy to get to. It used to be like hanging way down there. So that makes things nice. But you can see this end's missing the buffer plate and the damaged angle iron for the rubber diaphragm. I'll probably go back with the rubber diaphragm. There's how to unhook it. So I'm extremely happy with it. I think it has a ton of potential, and I'll do a tour of the interior, and then we'll get back on the road home because I've already done all the brake tests and everything else. So I'm gonna move that chain too because I don't like it swinging, tearing the paint up. Not that the paint being torn up is an issue. Don't look at that. That's whatever. Here, just look at like that spot right there. Anyway, so we'll figure it out. If you think of a color you want that it would look good as, I'm gonna leave the white roof. It just helps keep the car cooler. Leave a comment below. Let me know, and I'll bring you guys along with the restoration process and see how it goes. Like I said, I want to use it as a generator car for a museum right now, and then after that season's over, I may start gutting the interior. I want to build a kind of like a first class lounge with observation doors, or so like if you're riding behind a steam engine or something, you can stick your head out the door, or if you're riding on a tourist line, watch the scenery go by. So all right, well, on to the interior. So this is the inside of the 1952. I'm guessing sometime after 8 of 52, only because of the dates on the trucks. This is the kitchen end. So you'd have a range right here. You'd have an installed coffee maker right here that was plumbed in. And it just was constantly going, making coffee. You had your sink over here. There's a refrigerator and a freezer right there. And storage. And the water tanks are up here above us. And then obviously your door for stocking the kitchen was right here. More storage in here for your kitchen. So this next room would have been the receiving room. And they had these little half baggage doors basically where they would bring the wounded soldiers and sailors on board and evaluate them. The nurse would evaluate them and change their dressing and assign them a berth. However, as you can see, there's this massive rotational electron pissing off device, otherwise known as a generator. So as far as I know, it's an 80 kW and it runs. The guys here at the shop say it runs. So we'll see when we get it home.
There was, of course, no way I could possibly wait until I got the car home to try the generator.
But obviously they've taken the walls out to make room for it. And they've put this diamond tray down on the floor. Typical power car type flooring. They did do an interesting thing where they vent the radiator through one of the windows. So, and then you have your exhaust up there. So that's time will tell if the generator stays, but my guess is it'll go at some point. So then they built this nice wall, which I don't know how much soundproofing it is, but we'll see. And this would have been the main ward, and they would have had seats and bunks, 3 bunks high, and 2 seats facing each other, just like the hospital car that I'm restoring. And you'd have handrails up here, but they're gone for the people to be able to get in the top bunk. So obviously the floor's filthy. The car's been sitting unused at least 10 years. They put all the power stuff on this wall here, all modern. And it does have a hip connection. They built this car to use for powering a geometry car. So you could feed this car only or the car behind it. So moving on. This is your first bathroom. There were 2 bathrooms, technically 3 I guess. You'll see in a minute. But there were 2 bathrooms on this car. And the toilet's gone because they only dumped straight to the track. They never bothered to put a tank on this car. So, but it does have the original sink.
And it has the two little racks up there that the car I'm restoring do not have, so those will probably wind up in that car. And you had your water fountain that provided cold water, and your emergency tools here, and right here was a cup dispenser for dispensing your little Dixie cups, and that's where you throw your used Dixie cups away. This room here was, it had a big deep sink and a bedpan washer, and it currently has a AC unit in it that I think caught fire because there's lots of smoke damage and stuff like that. So this was the original electrical locker, and it's been gutted. There's lots of wiring and stuff. And we found the original number right here, which is 89512, which would also put it in 52, late 52. So you had two staterooms. First stateroom was the nurse's station, so she would get her own sink and toilet, so she didn't have to share with the men's. And it had a Murphy bed that would fold down, just like a roomette. And then you had a chair for daytime use. In here would be the shower. And it's all still there. And also more smoke damage. This seat is not in the car I'm restoring yet. I'll go ahead and move it in the car I'm restoring because it's original. Would have come with the car. Let's see. Okay, so this was in the officers or slash the doctor's stateroom. So his bed's down and locked, and he would have had a mattress. Same thing. It would fold up just like the other room. He had a daytime chair. He did not get his own bathroom facilities. He would have to use the same bathroom as the men. Now from here down to that window would have been all kinds of baggage storage, linen storage, all the way up to the ceiling. And of course that's all been gutted. Another little locker here, just for storing, hang your jackets and stuff in. And then this would have been the other bathroom that they cut the wall out of and the door. But the sink's still there, and the original soap dispenser. So that's going into the car that I'm restoring as well. Then this area here would have had two more seats with the upper bunks as well. And then just have the vestibule in the back for getting up and off, or on and off the car. Yeah. And that's pretty much it for the interior. So of course anybody that's even watched one of my other videos knows that I'm addicted to getting things running when they've been sitting. It's a passion of mine. It's something I'm good at. So I borrowed a jump pack and tried to get the generator going. Okay, so I got a jump pack on the generator. We're gonna see if it'll start. That's a no. Don't think it's got enough. Not gonna happen. I'll just have to wait till I get home. I'm not one to give up too easy. I took that jump pack back, was actually thinking of pulling a battery out of my truck when the guy says, "Hey, we got a brand new jump pack over here. It's freshly charged. Why don't you try that one?" Well, yes, please. All right, we'll see. Ready? Yeah.
Gave me low oil pressure. However, it's probably actually out of fuel. They emptied the tank underneath, and it only had that little head tank, and I don't know how much was in it. Maybe not enough. Without the power on, the fuel filter or the fuel pump might have quit running because it has an electric fuel pump. But it does run. It sounds good, and it was putting out power. So two things. According to this nice note that someone left, you have to have an HEP jumper between the cables at the end of the car. That's a little weird, but I get it. And then you can choose between this car and the other car. Although if you're hooked to the other car, why, I don't know why you have to choose. I would think if you went to this, it would light off this car no matter what. So maybe that's the sensor. Or the loop circuit for the 480 might have something to do with it. I won't know. I guess I'll get into it when I get the car down to my shop and figure out what's going on. Eventually all this wiring will change around. You know, I'll move everything into the other cabinet. And that way this thing, all this will be moved. And I'll move those panels. This was a transfer switch. Although I'm not, again, why? You either, and it's only connected to one side. There's no other connection. So it doesn't make much sense unless they're only using this to connect the generator once once it's running. So, you know, I'm not sure. I'll have to poke around. There's no wiring diagram in this thing, of course. There's also two little batteries there that I'm sure are dead. So we'll see what happens. I got to put the panel back on that. I think that's the contactor to feed the next car back. But then I don't get why it won't feed this car by itself. So we'll just have to look into that. So this was where it was saying that need to put a jumper to be able to use the 480 in the car. It's big pins. No jumpers came with the car. They don't use HEP here, so I'll have to get some HEP cables. So that concludes the walk around and everything of the former Norfolk Southern 37, now the Atom Rail 37. For now, I may renumber it into the old hospital car number. I'm not sure what color I'm going to paint it. I'm not sure how I'm going to outfit the inside. All I know is I'm going to get it home, and now I can do whatever I want to with it. So thank you very much. Look for future videos and follow along as we get the car home, get it in service, and figure out what we're going to do with it. So, thanks again.